Hello and welcome. This is Chris Ann. I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chris Ann. Today we're going to be doing some watercoloring again, and we're going to be using two different types of paper. The first type of paper we're going to use is, of course, watercolor paper, and this is Strathmore watercolor paper. This is the 9x12 140 pound. That's the one that I happen to have right here in front of me. We're going to be making some jewelry cutouts. We're not going to be assembling everything. It's not going to be ready to assemble. And we're going to be making some different components for our journals, our junk journals and our art journals. We're going to be talking about the different types. There's 3 different types of finishes that you can use on these. There's many, many, many more, but we're going to only be focused on 3 today. And we're going to talk about some of the brushes that we have. So there's all different types of brushes. We're going to start right away with the brushes. This is a set. I can't remember her name, but I kept her paper here. The Art for Joy's Sake brush collection, and it is by Christy Rice. So this is her paintbrush collection. I had gotten this a long time ago on Amazon. Yeah, this is all the brushes. And she says that with just these brushes, you can paint anything and everything. She makes it look so easy. I have issues, but whatever. They're fantastic brushes. I have used them. So we have this brush set. We have, these are very easy to, oh wait a minute, no, that goes with this. These, let me clean it off because I've been painting with it. This is the one I use all the time. This is the Master's Touch. These are easy to find. This is the round number 6. This is what the brand for Hobby Lobby is. Then there's this type. I don't remember if this was Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It's one of the two. And you know, you can get just like a whole set with all different types of brushes and palette knives and everything. If you're gonna get into it, the sets are really nice and they're portable. But I have this other set, and I love this. This is by Duval. And it's stuck. It's not normally stuck. These are travel brushes. Look at these. They fit into each other like that. And there's some of these, obviously, I haven't used. They're beautiful. They're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful brushes. I have used, and there's like holders for them in this. I have used the majority of these. I mean, they're really nice brushes. This is from Amazon, so you can check that out. The Duval traveling brush set. I do recommend it. It is a nice set. If you like sort of the smaller ones, this is a really nice set. So that's the brushes. The other thing I have is I have a portable mini mister, and this is one of the Ranger ones, the Tim Holtz ones, but this is a teeny tiny one that has the lid on it. I got this in a kit a long time ago. They do still sell some of the kits at Michael's that have this in them. That's where I got this from. And then, of course, my paint watercolor set by MUNGYO Gallery. I've used this in many, 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 many videos. I think it's a great set. It's a really nice, large, I don't know, complete set, I guess. The only thing I don't like about it is the gold is horrible. It's all like cracked all apart. Silver isn't as strong as I would like it to be, but I do have some other metallics in other sets. Other than that, for a non-metallic set, this is one of my favorites. I have metallic sets and I'm kind of sick of the metallics after a while. I like the non-metallic. I have pre-sprayed this, but let's go ahead and spray these again. You need to ignite your watercolors and activate them with water. Now, I can reactivate all this here too and use that as well. We're gonna start on this paper first. Where'd my other one go? Oh. Hold on. I just had my other one. Hold on. Well, I made one. Where'd it go? I made one as a demo to show everybody. I had it sitting right over here, and while I was talking, the wind took it. Okay. Well, so much for that. We will. I think I put it here. Nope, I didn't. Oh well, I'll find it later. Not a big deal. So let's take out a piece of watercolor paper. Now I'm going to be like, where did that fly off to? Huh. I made it ahead of time for a purpose too. Oh well. So, what I do when I forget sometimes which side is up on a watercolor set, I refer back to the one in the pad. So this is the same texture as this. So that's the up side. And let's put this, let me move, whoops, let's move some of these things here so you can see that. Put back my glasses on. I have a paper towel here. I have a water cup with my paintbrush. And I like to start, so if you saw my other watercolor video, you know that I like to start with the lighter colors. So I'm coming into the yellow. You might not be able to see, I'm coming in, can you see it? Coming into the yellow, and I just like to do sort of little circles, and I'm gonna do these circles all around, and I'm keeping these small because this, and I'm not trying to have them all in a row, but they're kind of ending up that way. This is gonna be jewelry. And the more I can get on the page, the better. I don't know what happened to that paper. It was a big paper. How did it fly away? Oh, I'm stuck on that now. Okay, now let's move to the next color. Let me add a little bit more water to this. I'm moving to an orange, and I'm just gonna do this. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I want this paper wet. I want these to flow. I want these to sort of marry into each other as I go through and I paint them. So I'm misting the paper itself. Now let me come back into the orange. And I'm going to do a little bit of orange next to all the yellows. My eventual goal is to have this entire paper covered with paint. Yes, this is spread all around. I like that. That's okay. That's not going to be a problem. I want them to do that. I want them to sort of spread, connect. So I'm moving to a darker orange. Let's just add a little bit of orange through here. Okay, now I'm going to move to like a red. And I'm kind of doing it in like C's. Add a little bit of water to this. A little bit more red. And that's spreading nicely. I want this very abstract. My last video I did, I made, which was like a week or two ago, I did my sort of full abstract flowery looking things much bigger. I don't want these big. These are going to be basically earrings. A couple are going to be pendants. Now, when you see these lines, you know I need to add a little bit more water to my brush, to my watercolor, etc. Okay, I'm good. Let's add a little bit more red up here in this glob. A little bit more red here. Okay, I'm good with that. Now, let's come in on the other side of that red with some pink. I am not a pink person, but I acknowledge pink, and I'm mixing two pinks. I acknowledge that pink can brighten things up. I do mix paint kind of in the pans, the watercolor pans themselves. I'm not worried about it like contaminating the next one. This is kind of how I paint. Just sort of dragging the paint a little bit, so it gives me a hint. Add some water. And you wouldn't normally think like a red and a pink next to each other. I don't know. In my mind, it does kind of work. And I've been sort of keeping to the right of all of my little blobs. Now, let's go to the left of the blobs. All right, so we are going to go to a lime green, and I'm going to exaggerate it and start filling it in, trying to keep it next to the yellow if possible, but it's not always possible. Don't worry about it looking a little muddy. Just keep adding water to your brush. That helps. Keep it a little bit more clearer and cleaner. You can come in two different greens right next to that yellow. There's a lime green and a tinge of a darker green that I'm coming into. Just add a little bit more water. Didn't even need to add more paint, I just needed more water. Okay, now this is what we have thus far. Now we're going to fill in all those spots with one of my favorite blues, and it's like a turquoise blue. So I'm cleaning off my brush, I'm generously adding water to this turquoise blue, and all these white spots we are gonna fill in. And when it gets caught up in the green, clean off your brush, dip it back in the blue, and that's how you get your blue. I like turquoise. That's like my color. So wherever I'm seeing white spots, I'm coming in with my turquoise. And I keep adding paint to my brush so I have that blue not as muddied. This does not have to look like a work of art. We are going to be cutting it all up. This is going to be like 1.5 inch circles. There. Just keep adding the blue wherever I see white paper showing through, or I think there's a little spot that needs some turquoise. I'm adding it in. And if the paint starts to pull a little bit, add some water. I'm outside on my deck. It's a nice breeze. It's now coming through. I took my paper earlier. It's kind of like in my yard. The deer are gonna come by and I'm like, what is this? Okay. Very abstract. I want to do a little bit of a purple. Purple is a very, very dark color compared to what I have on here already. So we're going to just do a little bit of circles, or semicircles, I should say. We're doing C's. Just kind of add them everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to take my sprayer again, my water mister, and I'm blending everything. Let me add some more water to this. It runs out quick. Nice and flowy. It's very, very wet. Now I'm going to come into my silver paint up here, kind of glop it on, and I'm going to tap this into all of this flowing paint. And the silver splatter is going to flow with everything. It's going to blend in, but that's okay. And then I can come into this mess of a gold over here. And add some gold into this. Now, see this big pool? Can you see that? I think you can see that. If I have a little too much water, I can just touch my paper towel to it. Sometimes I tend to get a little pool of water on the edges. And sometimes the paper picks up the texture of the paper towel. So FYI, if that's something you don't want, just be mindful of that. I do get a little overzealous because I do like the movement and the blend of everything. Okay. Now, because I am outside, this is going to dry fairly quickly, but let me show you what we have. Super pretty. I don't know. Is it Monet-ish? I don't know. So let's put this over here. Hope this doesn't blow away. I'm going to put that right in the sun. Now, let's clean this up a little bit. And we're going to come in with our other paper, just to show you that it doesn't always have to be watercolor paper. This is heavyweight vellum drawing paper, 9x12, 90 pounds. I got this at one of my hauls when I went to my local dump/recycle center a few months back. I was super excited. So I got this. This is not as heavyweight as the watercolor paper, and it doesn't have as much of a tooth to it, but it is still a decent weight paper. So let's just do, and I'm standing up now, so I can see what you can see a little bit better. And we're going to start with some of our lighter colors. Hold on. Spritz, and we're just gonna lay some color down. No rhyme or reason. This is going to be cut up. We're going to turn this into tags and different things like that. Very sort of similar strokes to what we were using in our first piece. It's just get color down. Just get a whole sort of series of colors put down on the paper, and if we don't have enough blobs, add some more blobs. Like I said, this is all going to be cut up. You do not have to worry about, does this color work well here? Does this look good with this? It doesn't matter. The only thing I worry about is I try and cover up white space. Let's come in with some pink. Let's add a little bit of water to that. Nice sort of broader strokes. The bigger we get within our masterpiece here, the more we can do larger, broader, painterly sort of strokes. My goal is to cover the paper. That's my goal. Once this is all chopped up and cut into sort of shapes, you're not gonna care whether this color blended well with this color or whatever. Just fill some in. Wind's picking up, so I gotta keep my eye on that piece over there. I'm paranoid now. Okay, let's just cover in some of these spots. Okay, now we're gonna come in with that purple. And we're filling in. That's all we're doing. Spreading out some of the paint. Let me move this so you can see this better. There. We're just getting things covered. Nice. Now, I do like my turquoise and my green. So let's fill in some spots. Whatever sort of looks white, I'll add a little bit of the turquoise too. I know when you look at the color family and the color wheel, these colors don't really work together, but for me it works. Okay, now I want a little bit of green. So I'm gonna splatter on some green instead of painting on some green. I'm going to splatter some green. My brush is nice and wet. My paint is nice and wet. So I can splatter this. And the smaller the splatters, the better it will look when we have our small little pieces that we're going to be cutting out. Some light right here. All right. Let's just do a couple little splatters. All right, we're not going to do metallic on this one. Oops. So there's that one. Put that over there to dry. Let me wipe this up a little bit here because this will get all over the bottom of my paper. And we're pretty done with this, but I want to let this dry in the sun just a little bit before I close it. So I'm going to put that over there. And let's check our watercolor paper out. Go ahead and sit down. Oh. That looks pretty. Let's try. Yeah. Okay, so look. Really nice. Just a couple little okay, I am happy with that. Now this is the one we're going to mostly be doing jewelry with. So I have my 1.5 inch paper punch. Now when I come in, I'm looking to see where can I get pears. Those, actually they're not too bad. So we'll put those up there as a pair. Not exactly pears. Because these are going to be earrings eventually. Yeah, we're going to call that a pair. Nope, not a pair. And it's not a big deal if I don't find all of them to be pairs right away. Those two I like. Those work to me. Not enough blue in that one. So let's do those as pairs. Put those over there. We shall see. A little bit more yellow in this one. But you see how when you have this big thing, you don't need to worry about what everything is going to look like in the end, because in the end, it's a 1.5 inch circle. All right, let me cut this. Okay. I'm just going to cut them. Well, actually, kind of a pair. We'll match them up in a little bit. Of course, I just put it next to one that kind of looks like a pair, but that's okay. Ooh, I love this one. That's pretty. I like those two together. Although, I like like that one better. Okay, matching up a whole bunch of hairs. I'm gonna go with these two. Okay, now I'm going to come in and cut some more. And I'm keeping these little things I'm cutting away. So I can use those for something else too. Okay, last little bit. Last one. I didn't cut any pendants from this. I'm only doing earrings. Okay, so we have that left. Now, let's match these up. We'll do those two as a set. We'll do those two as a set. We'll do those two as a set. Those two together. We'll do those two together. Those two. Actually, I kind of like that as a three-piece set with a pendant. So we'll keep those three together. So I know you can't see all of them, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pairs of earrings plus a three-piece set. Not too shabby. Let me show you. I'm going to go through and show you the sets. Now, they might not be exact matches. I don't expect them to be. They're artistic. And once I get the coat and everything on them, I'll come in and I'll do the holes. Sometimes I do the holes first, sometimes I do the holes last to make them earrings. Now, if I wanted to make them posts on the back, I can just glue the posts on the back, but these are all going to be dangles. And if I wanted to come in and add a couple more splatters or something, I could. And then this is the three-piece set. I mean, I could even make some of these into keychains. Okay. The other one's not dry yet. So we're going to let that one keep drying. And while we're doing that, I'm going to show you the finishes that I have. So you can use a UV resin that will make it very, very hard. You can see I have a little bit here. It hardens it, and that will give this more stability. The problem with working with resin is it's toxic when it's in its liquid form. So you have to use major protective gear. My preference is to use this Deco Art by Americana Duraclear High Gloss Varnish. I got it at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. I like it. And then my other choice is Mod Podge Super Gloss Brilliant One Coat Gloss Finish. It's by Plaid. This is thicker than the regular one, so we're going to do both. Now, I need to find, oh, my brushes are right here. Okay, so let me grab, I want a flat brush to do this. I'm just gonna mist it with my mister because my water cup is filthy. So I just misted it a little bit, and now I'm just gonna dab it into my paper towel over here. We're gonna do the Mod Podge one first. Now I never shake either one of these, the Duraclear or the Mod Podge. I roll them gently. If you shake it, you're gonna put air bubbles into it. And notice I'm tipping it down towards the lid. You're not supposed to work from the lid, but guess who doesn't listen to that? And this is gooey. Now, once this front dries, I will be coming back in and doing the exact same thing on the back. You have to put a coating on both sides or else your piece will warp. Because this is so thick, I need to make sure I'm sort of smoothing it out and having an even coating on it. So there's that one. Let's come in with the matched set. Now this also makes the colors pop. Have you noticed that? This has some on it, this doesn't. Your colors are going to look more vibrant. Now not every coating can work with watercolor because watercolor is water reactive. So you need to make sure. Now in this case, I don't care if my watercolor runs a little bit because it's painterly painted. Let's just do a couple of these, then we'll move on to the other type. You see how the colors just pop? And this doesn't take very long to dry. And I do more than one coat. In this video, I may not be able to do more than one coat, but I just want you to know, yes, I do more than one coat. You want this to protect the painting, you want it to protect the paper, you want it to give it a sense of stability. Those right there. Now let me clean this off. My paper towel is still wet from earlier. Pretty good. So let me close this up. I just got this at Walmart. Okay, we're going to do this one next. And we're going to use the Duraclear. Actually, let me put these two together so I can mentally keep track. Okay. Do that one. And you know what? Let's do this one next. Okay, so now we're going on to the Duraclear High Gloss. This one is not as thick. This one does take a little more coats than the Mod Podge one. But you have to remember, you have to do both sides or else your piece will curl. I'm just gonna pour a little bit into the lid, which is a big no-no. But just make sure this is, let me give this another little spray. Clean it off just a smidge better. Wipe it off on my paper towel over here that I don't think you can see. Yeah, nice. Okay. So I'm gonna come in Now I'm working with a flat brush for this. When I'm working with a flat brush, it's giving it nice, even coating. This one flows a little bit better. It's a lot thinner. I do thin, even coats, whereas I might do 2 or 3 coats on that one. Probably 2 coats. On the Mod Podge, I'll probably do 3 coats on this one. Now, my paper was a little warped to begin with because it was wet. I probably would have pressed it between some books before I punched it out and did all this, but we're on camera. I didn't have time for that. I use this in a lot of my paper jewelry. I like this product. And you want to make sure you clean your brush off pretty much right away, because this will ruin your brush if you don't clean it out. So let's do that. I'm just spraying it with my little spritzer because I do not have a clean water cup out here. I'm just going to put this to the side. That's all cleaned. And let's check this one. This was our first one. Still tacky in texture, not in look. So that one has a little bit more to go. I can see the brush strokes in it. Obviously, we just did this one. The brush strokes have leveled out just a little bit more. This is slightly more self-leveling, but not 100%. So the first one is the Mod Podge, and that one is the Duraclear. So those I'm going to let sit and dry. I'll probably come in and paint these in a little bit. Let me move this over here. Actually, let me just pair these up and kind of make a little bit more space. Put the pairs on top of each other. The ones that I haven't put a coating on. Okay, because I want to pull out this paper and show you this one. So this one has curled significantly more. It's not watercolor paper. It is a thinner paper. There are still some wet spots on it, but the spots that are dry, let's make some tags. See, how cool is that? And I mean, we can use these in our journals, greeting cards. I mean, just so pretty. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what the bigger picture looks like, because we're making little teeny tiny mini works of art. I have this punch too. I don't use it that much because this darn thing gets in my way. I know I can remove it. How cool. Now, what do we do with some of those little bits? Hold on. I have this punch. I love this punch. This is that. I call it a flag. So in my first one, remember I said I'm keeping those little spots. I can come in and I can punch these out. I can come in and make whale tails and tab punches. I can do all of that with this as well. So that's why I keep the little bits, because I use it. I use it for this. So let me keep going. Oops. So you get the idea. Now, if I wanted to, I could turn this shape into earrings too. I could turn this shape into earrings. In this case, I'm not going to. I am going to keep these for little tuck things, little tuck spots in my journals, my art journals, my junk journals. But look at, I mean, how gorgeous is that? I mean, you can rubber stamp over this. You can write, live, laugh, love, whatever. You can have it be a little journaling spot on the back. Turn it into a pendant. I mean, I really like that particular one. I mean, that is something I would wear as jewelry. All right, let's move these aside. And let me come back in and check. Now this has flattened out a little bit. There's a little bit of pooling here. Let me get rid of that. It's still a little tacky and sticky, but it has flattened out a little bit. Yep, that needs to dry a little bit more. These have flattened out. This is the Mod Podge ones. These have flattened out much more than the Americana Duraclear has. Now, these are dry. Yep, that's dry. Yep, that's dry. I want to do the backs. Hold on, let me clean that. All right, I want to do the backs. Typically, you do, and normally I sign the back, but I'm not in this case. Typically you do equal amounts of coats. Oops, oh, come on. Equal amounts of coats on the back as you do to the front. And I like to have them even. I just want to make sure this one, because I dropped it. No, that's fine. All right, let's do the back of this one. And you can see I smooth it out. I keep it nice and even. Now I have said in other videos, what do you think on pricing? I hate pricing my work. I hate it. These are gonna have ear wires, maybe a charm, and some jump rings. Some of the other ones I made with charms. Adds weight, but it also adds some visual interest. Smooth that out. Just leave that there. That's good to me. How are these guys doing? almost there. You know, there is a Mod Podge that has glitter in it. I'm tempted because that would look pretty. Mod Podge has gotten so expensive. I've seen it for like $10 a bottle. I'm like, when did this happen? I mean, I remember when that stuff was like $5. And you can get the smaller ones at the dollar store. But that's not even $1 anymore. And it's just the plain whatever ones. Now, my little tags and little bits, I am not going to put a finish coat on them. There is like almost like a wax coating, and I forget the name of it, but you can look it up. There's a coating that you can rub on watercolor to make it waterproof, because if you get these wet, it reignites the watercolor. But you could just look up what do you put on. I don't own it. I don't use it because I use things like this on my piece. I mostly make jewelry, things to sell. But I mean, these are in the sun. Can you see these? They're in the sunlight. I'm trying to keep the sunlight right there. And they just look so pretty. And you can see just a little hint of when I splattered that metallic. I hope you can see that right there. I love the turquoise in this one. It's very pretty. And that's fairly sturdy. Takes significantly longer to dry, obviously. I mean, these are probably dry already. Yeah, pretty much. Still has a little bit of a curl to it, so I'm probably going to put this, once it's completely cured and dried, between some things. And I'll just come in with my paper punch, and I'll poke a hole in it right there. If this one got too thick and too much to be able to do with my paper punch, I would come in, I have a little hand drill or a Dremel or something like that, and just drill a hole right in it. Takes 2 seconds, easy peasy. That's this. Fun stuff. I hope this has been fun and exciting to you. So go ahead and play with watercolors, play with your watercolor papers and other papers. Maybe you have some of these finishes. Maybe you have this one. Don't do this one outside because it dries immediately because it's UV. I made that mistake. I'm thinking, oh, let me do it outside so I don't have to breathe in those toxic fumes. It like dried. Yeah, I was brilliant that day. So, oh, you know, make some of these fun. These are one-of-a-kind things that you can make for your journals and little tuck spots and all that fun little stuff. So have fun. Just put color to the paper and not worry about what the bigger picture looks like. Just worry about what that little 1.5 inch circle is going to look like, or that little tiny tag is going to look like. That's all you have to worry about. So I hope you have fun. I would love to see what you come up with. You can tag me on Instagram and Blue Sky. Both of them I have the exact same name. It's Chrisanne1234, and on Facebook it's Elemental Energies with Chrisanne. Eventually I will be putting some of these for sale on my website. My website is always linked in every single video, elementalenерgieswithchrisanne.com. It's not going to be right away. It will be eventually. But if there's something you're interested in, it's okay to reach out. I'm happy for that. And let me know what you think. Pair of earrings wise, I'm leaning, I mean, I've seen them for as much as $25, $35. I'm leaning towards the $15 to $20 price point. I do have sterling ear wires I can use, and then I have stainless ear wires I can use. And I would adjust my pricing accordingly for that, the sterling being more money. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think. I could use some help on the pricing. And you know, I might do a video where we put them all together and actually assemble the earrings once I get everything coated, everything. So thanks so much for tuning in. Take care and be free.